American dealer lots in 2026 are packed with brand new crossovers priced between $40,000 and $55,000. Small turbocharged engines working overtime, CVT transmissions with a known shelf life, and touchscreens that cost $2,500 to replace the moment the warranty expires. The average new car payment in America has now crossed $740 a month. Yet sitting quietly on used lots and driveways across the country, there are 5 cars almost nobody is shopping for, selling between $2,000 and $8,000 with engines that routinely pass 250,000 miles. We're counting them down, starting with a forgotten sedan that's secretly wearing a Mazda skeleton underneath. In 5th place, the Mercury Milan makes one of the strongest value cases in the entire used market for one simple reason: the badge is dead, and dead badges mean discounts. Mercury was shut down by Ford in 2011, and an entire generation of buyers under 40 has simply never heard of it. But here's what the market forgot. The Milan is mechanically a Ford Fusion with nicer trim, and that generation of Fusion was built on a platform shared with the Mazda 6. The 4-cylinder engines trace their design back to Mazda engineering, and they use a timing chain rather than a belt, which means there is no scheduled 4-figure timing service waiting for you down the road. Clean examples with reasonable miles now trade between $3,000 and $5,500. That's roughly half of what an equivalent Fusion of the same year and condition brings, purely because of the name on the trunk lid. The known weak spots are refreshingly boring. Suspension bushings and wheel bearings start asking for attention around 120,000 miles at $300 to $400 a corner. The automatic transmission is durable, but it appreciates a fluid change every 60,000 miles. Skip that service, and you're gambling with a repair that costs more than the car. Do it, and these drivetrains just keep going. The 2.5-liter versions return low 30s on the highway, which undercuts plenty of newer crossovers that cost 10 times as much. For anyone who wants Japanese engineering with an American price of total obscurity, the Milan is exactly that. The catch is emotional, not mechanical. Nobody will ever compliment your car. And for a certain kind of buyer, that's the entire point. Number 4, the Ford Taurus, specifically the 2010 to 2019 generation, is what happens when a car built for police duty gets ignored by the retail market. Full-size, heavy, and with some of the best crash scores of its era, the Taurus was engineered for 100,000 miles of hard fleet service. Government and rental examples flood the market with documented maintenance histories, and because sedans this size stopped being fashionable years ago, prices sit between $5,000 and $8,000 for well-kept examples under 120,000 miles. Now, this is the one car on this list with a genuine trap inside it, and you need to hear this part. The 3.5-liter V6 is a strong engine, but Ford mounted its water pump inside the engine, driven by the timing chain. When that pump fails, usually somewhere around 150,000 miles, coolant can leak internally, and the repair means opening the engine. That bill runs between $1,800 and $2,500 at an independent shop. The warning signs are coolant level dropping with no visible leak or a sweet smell in the oil, which means the entire buying strategy for this car is simple: service records or walk away. 2 more rules. Skip the all-wheel drive versions because the power transfer unit is a known weak point, and the front-wheel drive car does everything most owners need. And skip the turbocharged SHO if you're buying for longevity rather than speed. Buy a front-drive Taurus with paperwork, and you're getting more metal, more safety, and more comfort per dollar than almost anything else in America. The reason nobody buys it is the same reason you should. It looks like a retired police car, because half of them are. Number 3 is the single best badge trick in the American used market: the Pontiac Vibe. Here's what most shoppers never learned. The Vibe wasn't really a Pontiac. It was built in California at NUMMI, The joint factory General Motors ran with Toyota on the same line as the Toyota Matrix. Underneath, it runs the same engines you'd find in a Toyota Corolla of the same years. Same reliability, same parts, same 250,000-mile reputation. But Pontiac died in 2010, and the market punishes dead brands with total amnesia, which means the Vibe consistently sells 20 to 30% cheaper than an identical Matrix or Corolla of the same year and mileage. You are buying a Toyota at a discount for wearing the wrong shirt. Clean examples trade between $3,000 and $6,000. Parts or Corolla parts available at every store in the country, and any mechanic in America can work on it blindfolded. One honest warning: the earlier 1.8 engines, especially before the mid-2000s update, can consume oil once mileage climbs. That's not a death sentence, it's a habit. Check the level every couple of fuel stops, and it will outlive everything else on your street. Beyond that, the list of known failures is embarrassingly short. It's a tall, practical hatchback that swallows furniture, returns over 30 miles per gallon on the highway, and carries the most underrated badge in the country. The cheapest Toyota in America doesn't say Toyota anywhere on it. Number 2, the Buick Lucerne with the 3800 V6 is the single best contrarian buy of the decade, and almost everyone under 60 walks straight past it. Under the hood of the 2006 to 2008 CX models sits the GM 3800 Series 3, one of the most durable engines ever mass-produced in America. This engine family powered police cars, taxis, and grandma's church car for decades, and clean examples routinely pass 300,000 miles without the heads ever coming off. Earlier versions of this engine had a famous intake gasket problem, and that reputation still scares buyers today. But the Series 3, fitted from the mid-2000s onward, was revised specifically to fix it. Check for any coolant loss during the test drive, and if it's clean, you're looking at one of the safest mechanical bets in the entire used market. The rest of the known issues list is almost comedy. Air conditioning blend door actuators that click and cost a couple $100, a cheap oil pressure sensor, that's the drama. Here's the real reason this car is on this list: demographics. The Lucerne was bought new almost exclusively by retirees, which means the used market is full of low-mileage, garage-kept, dealer-serviced examples that were driven to the grocery store and back for 15 years. Grandpa spec is the best spec in the used car world, and it trades between $2,500 and $5,500. You're getting near Cadillac comfort, a trunk that fits a family's luggage, and a legendary engine for the price of a set of new car options. The image costs you nothing but pride. And in first place, the last truly bulletproof American car, the Ford Crown Victoria and its twin, the Mercury Grand Marquis. Body-on-frame construction like a truck, rear-wheel drive, and the 4.6-liter V8, an engine so understressed that New York taxi fleets documented examples passing 400,000 miles. This is the platform American police departments and cab companies refuse to give up for decades for one reason: it does not break. Production ended in 2011, which means the supply is finite and shrinking every year. The smart money is on civilian Grand Marquis models, the grandpa spec cars with low miles and service folders, trading between $3,000 and $7,000, with prices quietly creeping upward as collectors catch on. Retired police Crown Victorias run even cheaper, around $2,000 to $4,000, but they've lived a hard life of idling and curb strikes, so unless you know exactly what you're looking at, buy the civilian car. Known issues? Because even legends have them. On the Grand Marquis, the rear air suspension fails with age, and the fix the entire owner community uses is converting to conventional coil springs. About $150 in parts if you turn wrenches, $400 at a shop, and then it's solved forever. Earlier engines from the late 90s had a plastic intake manifold problem, but later versions were revised, and by the 2000s, the fix was built in. The one thing that actually kills these cars is rust.
In Salt Belt states, inspect the frame before you inspect anything else. A Southern car is worth paying extra for. The real ownership cost isn't the repair shop, it's the gas station. The V8 returns mid-teens in the city and low 20s on the highway. That's the trade. You pay in fuel what you save in repairs, insurance, and depreciation, and you end up with a car that shrugs off potholes, tows a small trailer, and will still be running when today's turbocharged crossovers are being recycled into washing machines. Across all five, the pattern is impossible to miss. Dead badges, retiree specials, fleet leftovers. Everything the market ignores is exactly where honest engineering hides. The average new car in America now costs over $47,000 and loses nearly half its value in 4 years. These five already let someone else pay that bill.
Badge prestige fades, engineering endures. Which one would you actually put in your driveway? Tell me in the comments, and if this saved you from a $700 monthly payment, the next video counts down the used cars you should never buy at any price.